So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this series. You might want to watch it from the beginning because despite the fact that this is about news, all the information that I provide is timeless because I'm choosing certain information that is relevant regardless of when it happened or certain circumstances, because the important information is how it's going to affect you and how it applies to the context and why this is being done and how you can prepare better, or how you are going to have to face new challenges that you might not be seeing because these are invisible threats. And so all of these things are quite important to understand and maybe to keep in mind, because if you don't know that you're going to get hit by something invisible, then you cannot prepare. And so it's better to know sometimes. And if the information is too raw or too weird or too strong, I will very likely tell you that this is ignorance is bliss, because some information you can use not unknown. And then once you know something, it's very hard to go back to where you were. And sometimes this can give you strong emotions. And so it's important to know yourself so that you can understand whether you can listen to this video and in the information, or if you just want to get to a certain point and not take it further. Now, moving forward, then grab your coffee and hopefully you're taking notes, but if not, then just enjoy. As always, remember to check what I'm saying, because no one, not one person is the owner of truth. So it's important to double check facts sometimes, and it's important to also understand the context in which things are being said, because the context can determine a lot of things which will impact the environment in which the news are being developed. Now, if you wanted to share a coffee with me, links for that down below. So, number one, there is a Starbucks in Hong Kong that is not taking cash anymore. This news is so big and so bad and so weird and so oh my god. Then I had to do a video about it separately. If you wanted to know why this is a news that, oh my god, you really want to know what is going on. Then we have another news in which there are drones in China that are announcing the quarantine, and there are drones in China that are filming people and hunting people and doing a lot of things through drones. Now, you're thinking that technology is good and drones might be good, but when the drones, are being used to scare you, to make sure that you are in a certain area and you cannot move, and in a lot of other things, then you will understand why technology is an oppression tool, and it is not a liberation tool. Then we move towards Chile. This one is really bad, and this is why, as a teacher, I'm telling you that I am so happy that I am not a principal in a school. Oh my god, dealing with the parents of this thing, I swear, is just insane. So there is a video. You know how kids that are small, as in between 3 and 5, they have to do rehearsals for how life is. So when you were little, I do not know if you were alive back then, but maybe in your grandfather's time or maybe in your mom's time, depending upon your age, the school was supposed to be a place in which you went to study home economics, you went to study cooking, you went to study how to do laundry, how to do a lot of things, and you kind of acted like if they were adults. And in fact, in Japan right now, if you go to certain theme parks, they are educational. That means that you spend the whole day with kids, and the whole thing that the kid will do is learn how to cook, how to be a chef, how to be, I don't know, let's say somebody who is handling money in a teller or in a bank. Basically, you are doing role play like an adult, right? So in Chile right now, they are doing that, except for the fact that they are marrying two girls. So they dressed one of the girls, who I think is about 4, and she's dressed as a guy, and she's getting married to the other girl, who is dressed as the bride. And so this is just insane. The reason being that you are basically telling the girls who are 4 that they are supposed to get married. And I mean, they had the whole class just, applauding and being happy about 2 girls getting married. Now, the interesting part about this, all the parts about your opinion, okay, give me a minute, because your opinion might be as strong as mine, and everybody will get our opinion. But here's the interesting part. The interesting part is that the teachers are okay about doing this. And not only the teachers are okay about telling girls that if they need to get married to be an adult, and they need to be married to be happy. That is just, if you did not see that one because you saw the fact that there were 2 girls, I mean, that one was bad. I mean, if they were doing this with a boy and a girl, I will also have issues. Because I don't want my kid to think that to be happy, they have to be married. Or they have to marry because otherwise they will never be, an adult. Or something like that, You have to learn how to be responsible on your own. I mean, that's it. You cannot put your happiness in somebody else's hands. You have to learn how to stand your ground and be alone, and then you can share your life with somebody else. So that part, it was just insane. So the second part is about, the fact that these are 2 girls. I mean, come on. So this is why, the principal is having trouble. Because number one, like I said, the teachers are okay about teaching kids that they should be married, which that is not truth. You should teach people how to be emotionally stable on their own, because you don't want kids to grow up thinking that if they don't have somebody next to them, they cannot be happy and they cannot do anything, and being insecure and all of those things. So the second part is that there were parents in this event. There were parents that actually were happy about this. There were parents there that were encouraging the teachers to even take it a step further. As in, tell the boys that next time they should do it with boys getting married in dresses that are for girls, like wedding dresses. And, the parents were, quite frankly, like I said, I don't know. I don't know what is going on through their minds or through their hearts or I don't know what is going on. But the point is that parents were recording this and they were happy. And then, of course, this was public. And when it was public, then war was on. Because, of course, the other parents were sort of like, you are teaching my kids to have sex and how to have sex and all of these things, and you're teaching my kids that they can be with another girl, or if my kid is a boy, you are telling him to wear dresses. That doesn't happen in my house, and things like this. So of course they all went to the principal, And so the principal is screwed because you have a lot of parents who are okay about this, and the other half who are probably not okay about this. So what do you do? And then there are, of course, this whole thing was public, and then the whole thing became a debate, and then now you have teachers who are also fighting other teachers, because I'm the kind of teacher that will go into a classroom and I will tell the kids that if they are not ready, they should not be having sex, because I don't care what other people say. You have to stand your ground and be okay on your own, and you need a lot of independence, and you need a lot of things, and having sex just for the sake of having sex is just a horrible idea. However, if you are already having sex, then you better understand that you can get pregnant, you can get STDs, having abortions is not an option. And then if you have doubts about your sexual identity, you will also have, higher chances for suicide and a lot of other things. And so I'm the kind of the parent that will think, no, I want my kid to be stronger on her own. And so as a teacher, I try to, be coherent about it. And for that, you gotta teach the kids that, okay, if you're already screwed, then you gotta figure out a way out. And mean to do it properly. It's not like, okay, I got pregnant, so I'm just going to have an abortion every other week. Because, by the way, that is something that is happening with a lot of teens. So, no, that's just not right. Okay? And so, the kids are handling this situation is very complicated. And you have teachers that are sort of like the opposite. They're sort of like, oh, come on, you can be whatever you want. And no one should tell you that you cannot be happy by taking hormones and changing your penis and changing your things just because, you can change your appearance, have a surgery, and then be happy. And then because, all you want is to be happy, because if you're not happy, then why are you here and stuff like that. And that doesn't work like that. It's like teachers, it's like I don't know how to put it, but now you have teachers that are fighting other teachers, which it sucks, because now if you are the kid, how are you going to cope with this when you can't even trust your teachers or your parents or no one? Yeah, that is so going to turn out to be such a party for the kids. So moving forward, the next one is for also Chile. Apparently in there, it is normal for teachers, and I do mean teachers, to just give your kid Ritalin and other kinds of medicine, because that helps the teacher to do her or his job easier and better. And then I go, right. So you are a teacher, meaning you're the ones who is supposed to be in charge in terms of your emotions or whatever. And the way that you want to handle the students is that the students have to be the way that you want them to be. And if not, then you are medicating them without even the parents' consent or whatever. Or apparently the parents sign concerns, and it's just something that is not being discussed or whatever. So your kid might be medicated, and there is a lot of cases that are like this. I mean, like I told you, there were kids that came home from the school, and their parents found out that they were vaccinated. Yes, without the parents' consent. And this is not just Ritalin, and this is not just Chile. In the US, if your kid is having sex and she or he, if she wants to have an abortion, she can have it without you even knowing about it. She can have surgery without you knowing about it. And if you have a boy that just wants to have hormones and then, all of these things, they will keep doing it without your permission, even though you're the parent or the legal guardian or whatever. And this is insane. I mean, it's just insane. You cannot protect the kid by telling them that life is pink and everything is pretty, and everything is okay. And when they get out of out of this thing, they will realize that not only you were lying, but they cannot cope with anything. And I do mean anything, because they don't know anything. They can't trust anything. Nothing is stable. Nothing is strong. You don't have foundations. And then your solution to everything is surgery and medication. That is so like, yeah, that is so going to make you a slave. And that just doesn't cut it. And speaking also of slavery, one way to do it is you allow it, but you don't allow it. So wishy-washy thing. So let me explain this one. Now, it turns out that it is legal, it is totally legal to buy pod, as in marijuana, right? So you can buy it. Yes, and now there are even food trucks that will stop and will sell you marijuana cigarettes and stuff. And nobody can, nobody can charge you, nobody can take you to jail, nobody can do anything. But it's illegal to consume it. So basically the government is allowing you to sell something, they are taxing you, but you, the consumer, are not allowed to consume it. Because they are not sure whether you can smoke this thing in public or in private, or when, or where, or how. So you buy stuff and you get it, okay? But if you put it in your mouth or something like that, you can go to jail. So how is that making any kind of sense? And then the same concept applies to California. California just forbid the gasoline cars, right? Because of the climate change and all of these things. But it told people that they should avoid charging the electrical cars because there is a power outage crisis and there are a lot of fires, and too soon they will stop people from charging their cars into the charging stations because of issues with fuel and the energy, as in electricity. So I'm sorry, I don't get it. So are you trying to tell me that you cannot have a car that runs on gasoline? So you are only allowed to have the electrical one, not the hydrogen one or the other one, just the electrical one. But once you get it, then you are not allowed to charge the batteries because you have too much demand for electricity and there are going to be power outages and you cannot make sure that everybody has access to this. So, I'm sorry, I don't get it. Right. So, again, another form of slavery. Now, another form of slavery is when you tell people that they are not allowed to just educate them. So in Argentina there is a little boy, okay? It's a little boy called Ian Lescano, okay? So he's very famous, okay? He has more than 55,000 followers. The interesting thing about this little fellow is that he is autistic. So he has autism. And he teaches people about the awareness of autism. Oh, come on, this is a big thing, okay? There is a very huge particular chance that more and more people are going to be born with disabilities, including, Down syndrome or whatever syndrome. And then there is a lot of people with autism also. There are adults right now that have autism. So of course we need education on this topic, okay? Because all of these people deserve to be into the society and they deserve laws that protects them. I mean, come on, we're spending, 5 times, and I do mean 5 times, 5 times the amount of money in Argentina this year. It was it was set up for hospitals to take people to take hormone treatments if you were 12 or 14, 12 or 14 years old, and you wanted to change your sex. The government invested 5 times the money that they had for cancer research and cancer patients. So if for a cancer patient they gave $10, for a doctor that is now, doing hormonal treatments or is doing changing sex surgery things, he is getting 60. He's getting 5 times more. So for every 10, these people are getting anywhere from $50 to $60 or whatever, And so they're spending all this money into changing somebody else's sex because they need to make sure that you are integrated into society and your rights are not being infringed. So they are spending all of this money into protecting the rights from the gay community or the LGBT community thing, and yet they have $0 for the people that actually need it, like people with being blind, people that are, deaf, people that are, in the position of having Down syndrome or autism. Or sometimes people that are even worse, because there are people out there that cannot see and they can also not hear. So can you imagine not being able to hear and also not being able to see? And yet there is $0 for them. But there is $10 for the cancer patients, and there is 50 or 60 for the people who you said, okay, I do not like my breast, so I want to have a surgery about it. And then the hospital goes, okay, sure, this way, madam. We are going to turn you into a guy. And for you, it's absolutely free because we want to make sure that you can feel integrated into society. And this guy got his social media shut down. The account was shut down because he got a lot of people that complained about him being autistic. So him being autistic is somehow offensive, and that's why they canceled his account. Oh yeah, but the drag queens that are going into concert with other people, are not offensive, and they should not have, anything against them. So I'm not saying anything about the part about you being part of the LGBT thing or whatever. That's fine. That is up to you. You're an adult. I'm not complaining about you. I'm complaining on the fact that there is hypocrisy in the system. Hypocrisy meaning that you are getting a lot of money and attention, but the people that are in trouble, the people that actually have to live with a disability or something like that, they get nothing. That's not fair. And you cannot tell me that your right to go to surgery is more important than somebody that is dying. I'm going to say it again, dying of cancer, dying in pain. And that's not even fair or cut it. And there is a lot of people that now are coming to the realization of this topic. And guess what? There is now a movement towards hurting and actually, doing a lot of stuff against the community of the LGBT thing, because it's unfair. I don't care if you have a just cause. Everybody will think that they have a just cause. Everyone. The Black Matter movements, whatever movement, they all have justifiable things. Because we all have emotions. And that is okay. The thing is that it should be fair to everyone. Fair. That does not mean look into the past and try to, do whatever. It means fairness, as in try to make it better for everyone right now. And you cannot do things better for everybody when you get in a surgery is more important than you giving medicine to somebody who is dying in pain. That's just not cut it, because yours is an election. His or her is not. If they are dying of cancer, it's not a thing that they chose. And so this is important to understand. It's not fair. It's not about being fair. So you are being used. And you are going to become a target sooner or later from the people who actually have problems. And you are going to be realizing this very, 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 very soon. And I am assuming that this is going to collapse into something bigger very soon. And people with these kind of problems will be on the rise in terms of the numbers very soon. And their voice is going to have to be heard somehow. This is not even funny. And so, why is this account closed? And why is it that people that are supposed to be more tolerant, because now you're tolerant towards gay and towards all of these things, you cannot be tolerant towards a little boy who is talking about autism? Right. So, moving on to the next topic, is that John Coleman, as in the founder and director or owner of the Weather Channel, by the way, the guy is an actual scientist, tells CNN that all of this climate thing is bullshit. And this is going to roll. And it's rolling right now. Because actual scientists are stepping up. And the problem is that now there is too much apathy all over the place. And also there is too much ignorance. And also there is too much immunological problems behind this, and I am assuming that this may or may not work. Because now almost anyone can be a scientist, especially because people think that Googling something makes you a scientist. Or a doctor. Or whatever. It doesn't, but okay. And now, the last one. This one, I can't show the map. But there are 109 countries in the map. There is a statistic, and it's about the topic that we came first, about cash. So, I told you that in several videos I have told you that gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies cannot work into mainstream media or mainstream, people, because you cannot pay with them in actual establishments. So if you go to a pharmacy, you cannot pay it in gold, because the pharmaceutical is, the pharmacy people or the cashier is going to look at you like, what is that thing? Is it real gold? Number one, you will have to establish how you're going to tell if that thing is real gold. Nobody, because otherwise you're just paying with a metal and you painted it, and, for all they know, that thing is fake. Secondly, you will have to see how pure it is, because not all golds are the same. And then you will have to establish an exchange rate for the ounce or the gram or whatever, and you will have to have a machine to do these things, all just because you want to accept gold as a payment. So that doesn't happen, okay? That's why gold is not happening. Silver, not happening. And crypto, you will need, again, how exactly are you going to take crypto when you cannot take crypto to pay the government, to pay the taxes, to pay everything? You cannot take crypto into the thing. unless the government is starting to accept crypto. And that's why the governments, all governments in the entire planet, tried or are trying to establish a cryptocurrency rather than cash, because that way they will take down the competition from companies like Bitcoin or whatever, who supposedly are independent, and all of these things, and all of this money will be their money. See, you cannot have money into the hands of the people because the government wants their share. So you need taxes for that. And for that, you need a system. So a lot of countries are currently using cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. And but they have tested it. So in most of them, they are not established yet. In China, they have tried, and they have been doing it. It's just that most people are still on cash. Especially in certain areas or countryside areas or areas in which there is no access to computers and things like that, because there are areas in the entire planet that do not have access to internet and do not have access to the latest cell phone, or there are people who are old and do not know how to handle cryptocurrencies and things like that. So, no, it takes time. And so this is an issue. And so you cannot put this into the entire country overnight. You need time, you need testing, you need to teach people how to use the machine. You need to teach people how to plug it into the taxes system, because every time that you do a transaction, you are doing a taxable transaction, and that is done by machinery, cash registers, and things like that. And so all of this thing is an issue. And there are 2 countries out of the 109 that tried it and decided to cancel the whole idea. And that is Ecuador and Senegal. These 2 said, nope, we can't. I don't care. We already tried doing the crypto thing, not for us. Why not? Well, let's see. They might be like Venezuela, in the sense that they do not have a lot of internet, or the internet is unstable. And so this idea of cryptocurrencies being the center of the central bank in your country, it is going to determine how much freedom you can have in terms of your money. In China, for example, when they did the cryptocurrency thing, they made it expirable, meaning you got a payment in your bank. Let's say that your work paid you money today because, it's payday. So you got your money into your account. The problem is that the government needs you to spend that money within 2 or 3 days, because otherwise the economy is going to go crazy. Because the economy is going slow, is going down, and nobody's buying, and there is a lot of things. So the government says, okay, I need people to go buying. I can't push them. Okay. No, yes, I can. How? Well, let's see. If you do not spend that money within 3 days, then that money is 0. So if you go to your bank account and you have 10,000 right now, in 3 days you will have 0. So you have 3 days to spend the 10,000, or you will get nothing. How about that one? So now you have expiration dates into your cryptocurrency. So that means that they will have access to the timing in which you are spending money. That means that you will have 0 savings. 0. So these 2 countries said, no, we're not doing it. And these are 109. So you can see, or you can check, or you can try to research in which state your country is in, according to this thing. I can tell you now that Europe, the US, and several countries in Asia are just about to put it legal. Like, the only currency that will be working in your country will be crypto, and there will be no other one. Unless people fight back. Unless people say, we need cash, or we are not going to accept crypto over the actual currency that we have. Meaning, we just stay with the banking system. You go to the bank and you use the banking system. You do not use the cryptocurrency. You see, if they attach the cryptocurrencies towards the government, that means that there will be no banking. Banks will become irrelevant. Because why do you need a bank when you can get everything done through the central bank, which is the one that is handling the crypto? So the whole thing about this topic is going to become an issue. But I am assuming that more and more and more countries are going to stop this madness, like these two countries just did. Because they realize that they cannot afford the infrastructure, they cannot afford, like I told you, the madness of not having power or internet or whatever. I mean, right now, for example, they said that in Brussels, they are going to start rationing 4 hours of electricity a day. So that means that out of 24 hours that has every day, you will have 20 hours with electricity and 4 hours you will have no power whatsoever. So basically, I need to tell you this, but in my videos I have explained several times that the whole falling down of the entire system in my country for the electrical part started when Chavez was alive, and he said, we are rationing in 4 hours of electricity daily because of climate problems that we have with the dams that have the water that are producing the electricity that we have. So, we have a climate emergency, and because of that, we will be issuing it every day. You will have access to 20 hours of electricity, and 4 hours you will have no electricity. I can tell you right now that created a mess the first time that he did it. In the first week, if you are driving, if you are moving yourself into a subway or something like that, those works with electricity. If they stop the power, and for whatever reason the subway is stopped in the middle of a tunnel or something like that, you're going to be stuck there for 4 hours. That happened. That happened the first time that this happened in my country. It was really bad. Oh, and the worst part, the one that I have a video about that one also in the Nobody Tells You This session thing. I mentioned that if you cut the power for 1 second, there are industries that will be gone. Like if you bomb them, you probably you will probably have a better chance of recovering that thing. If you bomb them, you will have a higher chance of recovering that thing, rather than you cutting the electricity. Because there are machines, I don't know, I mean, maybe there are engineers here in this group, but there are machines that are designed in a way that if they ever, for 1 second, if they ever stop, like when you stop to take a breath, that's it, the machine will break. And that machine, you need to start all over. And the cost of that machine, $1 billion. 1 billion with a B, not million, B. $1 billion for just that machine. And those are in a lot of areas that will be like that. So I can tell you right now that the second that this thing happened, there were entire industries in my country that we are not going to be able to recover them no matter what we do. At least not in this generation. Maybe, and I do mean maybe, my great-grandkids. Maybe. Because there are machinery that just all the time like that. They need to work 24 hours a day, every single day, forever. If they stop, they break. That's it, done. And you cannot restart them. You just can't restart them. They're already broken. and they cannot be repaired. So if they do this in your country, if you're in Brussels and they do this in your country, you can expect entire industries, and I don't mean entire industries, to go down the drain, because you will go do your work and your boss will say something like, oh yeah, the machine is broken, go home, you're fired. Because the machine broke and that thing cost $1 billion and we have 4. So where are we going to get $4 billion? That is that bad. And that is just the beginning of the problems that you will face if you face that issue. If you accept that thing. If you accept this, like we did with Chavez, and you say, okay, we're going to take 4 hours, we can take it 4 hours a day. Yeah, I just hope that you have better luck than the one that we have here in my country. Because, we don't have strong winters like you do in Europe. We also do not have issues in terms of producing food. I mean, if we wanted to produce food, I'm guessing that it will take less than 3 months to get it all running in my country. Crazy. We will probably need 3 months and it will be done. But Europe? Seriously? You're thinking that you can rebuild industries in Europe as easy as you can rebuild something in my country that has perfect climate kind of thing? And you don't have a lot of laws, and you do not have a lot of issues the way that you have in your places, because you have the European Union and you have other things. Yeah. So I am not telling you what to do or what not to do about this, but I am telling you that if this happens, you need to tell the people that, if there are machinery like this, you need to tell the government and put it on all social media. Do not apply this 4-hour thing. Do not apply it to this and this and this and that area, because if you do, you're doomed. You're never getting it back. So, maybe you are an engineer and maybe you know what I'm talking about. I do not know the names of those things. I'm a teacher. I do not know all the mechanical things and all the names for the machinery or whatever. All I know is that these things do happen. And that's why there are experts about it. And that's why, we need people that study. And that's why we need people that are different from you and me. Because not all of us are meant to do the same things. And it is important that we keep the respect towards one another. And it's important that we respect our differences, because those differences can be the lifesavers for all of us. Not all of us are meant to be doctors or teachers or engineers. There are people that are meant to do other stuff. And all of us are important. And having said that, I am assuming that you will prepare better. And I am also assuming that you are aware of a lot of things now. And that makes you a better person. Because one way or another one, having this information will help you. I just wish this wasn't necessary to do it like this. Thanks for staying tuned.